All right, let's check out Disney Snow White trailer. My God. Disney invites you to watch CGI animals run through a house. To watch CGI dwarves.
So, whistle while you work.
My goodness. Other people have pointed out the problem with this. This rubbish. My God. These dwarves. They're just the CGI representations of the original hand-drawn animation. The hand-drawn animation looks infinitely cooler than this. Why should I ever watch this? This looks... I already know the plot, and I just know that the visuals are going to annoy me because they're blatantly inferior to the original. God. And like, there's nothing interesting. Do it differently. Why aren't you doing it differently? What are you doing? Come on. You're going to make it so the dwarves are exactly... They're dressed and look exactly like they did in the hand-drawn animation, but they're CGI and they're three-dimensional, and it's... Why not do it differently? You're just inviting a one-to-one comparison that you will never be able to meet. So it gives people a reason to watch this. What's with this generic Disney crap that they shovel out? Why would I watch something when I can watch the better version that you already made like 100 years ago? Like, what? And to make the same mistake over and over again. They don't care because people will go and watch it and bring their kids because they want like their kids to have that like theater experience of watching it. Oh my God. I could just imagine though having the budget to make something like this and to put no effort, for there to be no originality, to not even try to make it even good. Like, I'm not saying you gotta like step wildly outside of the plot. I'm saying stylistically make it a little different, change the aesthetic. Don't just try to duplicate an aesthetic with a computer. You're just using computers to try to duplicate a hand-drawn aesthetic that you're never going to be able to make look as good. Why not just change it up? Say, hey, we're going to go with a different kind of style here. We're going to make this interesting visually. And again, furthermore, to the plot, to the characters, to the messaging, you have Gal Gadot, who's like outrageously beautiful, and she is insecure. Oh, well, there's someone more attractive, so you need to make them your rival. I get it. She's the bad guy, and she's wrong for doing that. You could say that kind of is the message, but that message is like this is for kids. Kids don't think that complexly. Like, you're also kind of sending the message that people are like this, and that it's like, oh my God. It's such a strange and bad message, in my opinion. Even if it is the villain, the clear villain doing it, it's still, I don't know. It's just, it kind of, I think it accidentally feeds into people's insecurities, right? Because if a girl watches this and you see this absolute smoke show in Gal Gadot, and the idea is that she's ugly. She's ugly. She doesn't meet the beauty standards. Even though like even though adults understand that that's all within her own head, that's insecurity that she has brought onto her possibly by the magic mirror. It's also just, it comes across as though it's like some kind of like societal standard, you know? a kid's not going to realize that that's all internal in this like in this character's mind. They're going to assume that it's like kind of true. She kind of is old and unattractive, which is insane to think of Gal Gadot. At least make her kind of ugly for the movie. Like, give her at least a reason to have an insecurity.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all?
A super obviously cartoonish CGI deer. It's also this like cartoony aesthetic because all they're doing is trying to duplicate the aesthetic of the original. Same with like that Pinocchio, that Disney Pinocchio that I hope nobody watched, because at the same like time, maybe not exactly, but roughly, there was that Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio that did change up the aesthetic. That changed that was wildly different and awesome. And then I saw like a trailer for the Disney Pinocchio, and it just looked like crap because it's like they're just trying to literally duplicate the aesthetic of the, you know, hand-drawn animation. And that's so dumb. It looks so ferociously ugly and cartoonish, as one is like two-dimensional. You're trying to make a three-dimensional version of a two-dimensional thing, something that it just doesn't make any sense to do that. Start from like build from the ground up. What offends me about this is having this enormous film studio, tons of money, probably like over $100 million went into creating this, and there are tons of projects out there that could be made for like $1 million or less, far less, and would actually be a good film that people would enjoy, something creative, something original, something that's at least like interesting to watch, does at least something differently. There's so many things that don't get made, and Disney just will throw an infinite amount of money to shovel out the same absolute garbage again and again. Don't watch this. Don't watch this Snow White movie. Like, my God. Like, what are they doing? Just not an ounce of creativity. And I hate to say that, because where the creativity is in the animation. And I feel bad for the people who animate this. Like, yeah, they got a paycheck, they got food on the table, and that's good for them. But this is going to be a stain on them. They're going to be like, they're going to not tell people that they worked on this because they're ashamed. And again, it's unoriginal. It's not. There's creativity there, right? Like, you're still creating artwork, but it's literally just ripping off other artwork. So there's no actual. There's creativity within it, right? Like, but it's not actually like creativity. I'm flabbergasted. Because some of the complaints that people had when they had this, there was like this image, right, that they put out. I think it might have been like before they were even filming. I don't know. I feel like there might be a really good YouTube video after this is all out, when this movie's out and out of theaters, and some of the people who worked on it can like tell the actual reality of what happened, of just a disastrous production of this film. Because basically, I think before they were filming or whatever, they put out this image where there was like one dwarf and six like non-dwarfs, and it was going to be like Snow White and the 7 magical people or something, and it was completely ridiculous. People criticized it I remember Hornswoggle from the WWE said, well, this is a shame because you're taking away roles from little people actors who don't have that much opportunity to act, especially in like a large blockbuster film. And you just take that away, to just throw in like normal heighted people. Why would you take that criticism and then switch it over to animated dwarves? Have live action dwarves. That's infinitely more visually appealing. Come on. Like, this is way less. There's a movie out there called Sydney White. It's like Sydney White. The idea is that it's Sydney White and the Seven Dorks. And that is infinitely cooler. Amanda Bynes.
If you have a kid.
Infinitely better. Right? Because there's some originality. It's not... It's barely even like... It's more of like a kind of young adult sort of comedy film.
Fairest of them all.
Incoming moose missile!
They're in college.
Tyler Prince, beta president.
Sydney White. No title.
But in a house where everyone is trying to fit in,
Okay, we're jumping now.
it's not always
Is Sydney. Well, Sydney, meet the guys.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, watch Sydney White. It is way better. She joins this fraternity of dorks, and they become less dorky. Or like it's not that they become less dorky and nerdy are two different things, in my opinion. The way I view it, nerdy is like being into Star Wars and anime, superheroes, whatever it is that you're into. Puppets like this guy. But then being dorky is like that kind of consuming your personality and you not really functioning too well as a person, right? It being too all consuming. This guy this guy sitting on this like cool hand chair. He's in Gilmore Girls. He's what is it? Dates Paris, whatever. Watch Sydney White. It's awesome. It's got Amanda Bynes. Don't watch this Disney nonsense.